So just a little editor's note, for most of this video my eye is glitching out because of my green screen, and I apologize for that. If I had the time or the patience to re-record this, I would. So if you don't like what's happening with my eyeball, just listen to the video or click off. I'm sorry. Hello everybody and welcome back to Ultimate Sims Guides. My name is Taylor for those of you that don't know, and in today's video we are going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be doing a review reaction type video for the first episode of The Sims Sparked, which is The Sims 4's brand new reality TV show that premiered on Friday on TBS or Monday morning on the Buzzfeed Multiplayer YouTube channel. So we're just going to jump right into all of my feelings on the first episode and kind of go through all of the different things that happened. So if you haven't actually watched the episode yet and you want to, I would definitely suggest skipping this video. If you haven't watched the episode but just kind of want to get like the cliff notes, then you can continue. I'm going to throw in a lot of commentary and like my own thoughts in this video. So The Sims Sparked is a reality TV competition show, kind of like a Project Runway or Chopped or something along those lines, where there are 12 contestants that have been broken into 4 teams, and all of the contestants in season 1 are popular Sims 4 simmers. You have people like Plumbella, Spring Sims, D Sims, the English Simmer, Steffo Sims, like all of these people that most of you probably have heard of and probably watch on the regular. And they are all competing to make very interesting storylines, create beautiful characters, and create beautiful like worlds for these characters to live in. So that's kind of the basics of what the show is. So the host, Rayvon Owen, I actually really like him. I've never heard of him before. I didn't know who he was, but I really like his energy. I find that he adds, sometimes when you have a reality TV show, the hosts can kind of like take away from the experience, and he does a really good job. So good choice from EA. They did great. Then you have the judges. So the first one we have is Dave, or Sim Guru Ninja. He is one of the Sim Gurus for The Sims 4, one of the game developers, and I would say one of the more active Sim Gurus on Twitter, so he's definitely worth a follow if you love The Sims. We also have Kelsey from Buzzfeed Multiplayer. You may know her from her very popular 100 Baby Challenge. And finally, we have Taylor Parks, who I actually hadn't heard of either, but I went and listened to some of her music, and I really like it. I really like that they picked her because she has been playing The Sims for a long time, and she also does some of The Sims voice acting, is what she said, so that's pretty cool. I really like this panel of judges. I think that they all come from different walks of life. I like that there's just one game developer, so you get different opinions, because if it was just like a bunch of Sim Gurus, it might be maybe a little biased because they have relationships with these people. I don't know. Those are just my thoughts. So we have 12 contestants that were broken into 4 teams. Is Team Gnome, which is the English Simmer, Simproved, and Plumbella. The next team we have is Freezer Bunny, which is D Sims, Spring Sims, and X-Urban Sims. Then we have the Cowplant team, which is Steffo Sims, Dr. Ashley, and Little Sia? Siha? I have no idea how to say that, I'm sorry. Apologies in advance. And the final team we have is the Llama team, which is X Mira Mira, Dr. Gluon, and Simlacy. I really like that these teams were randomized because I feel like if the players got to pick their own teams, you probably would have seen like English Simmer, Steffo Sims, and Plumbella all on one team, and people will kind of like go to who they're friends with, who they feel more comfortable with, and I like the idea of how these people have to kind of get out of their comfort zone and play with people that they might not really know or people that they don't talk to all the time. Like all of these people know each other because they're all simmers and they all know of each other. Okay. But they may not have like super deep relationships with everybody. So it's nice to see that it was just kind of random. They had to pick a thing from a bag to get on their team. So for the first challenge, they were all in this open area, and there was just a bunch of objects on either side of them. So you had all the players in the middle, and on either side there were these tables filled with some weird objects. You had voodoo dolls and books and guitars and just all of this random stuff. And what they had to do is each of them had to go grab an object, bring it back to their team, and they had to create a storyline about these 3 objects and about a family in The Sims 4. So each person is assigned a role. So you have someone who's the stylist, someone who's the builder, and someone who's the storyteller. So the stylist is going to create the Sims, the builder is going to create the environment that they're in, and the storyteller is kind of going to bring it all together for this challenge. Now they only had 90 minutes to kind of create this storyline and the build, and it just didn't seem like enough time. That's honestly a recurring thing in this, is that it doesn't seem like enough time, but then that's also kind of what makes reality TV interesting, is when they don't have enough time. So like 90 minutes, I don't think I could have done this in 90 minutes, just like some of the builds alone would have taken me 90 minutes, so I'm impressed at what anyone got done. So we're gonna go over kind of like what each team did and then how the judges and how I feel about what they did. So the first team is Team Cowplant, and I am not surprised at all that Team Cowplant decided to go in a direction of trailer trash because in this episode, Steph Sims calls herself the dumpster fire of the Sims community.
I'm Steph. I am basically the dumpster fire of the Sims community.
And of course, the dumpster fire is going to create trailer trash. So overall, I found that their build was really good. Dr. Ashley did a really good job of creating this like pink, beautiful trailer park world, and it was really, really cute, and I loved the build. I loved the characters, they were really cute, but I found that when they actually like went to tell the story, Steph was flustered, and you could tell that she was very flustered. She was even like said out loud that she thinks she's gonna have a panic attack, and it makes a lot of sense because Simmers aren't really people who go out and speak in front of people. Right now, I am sitting in a room by myself recording this video. You know, no one can hear me. No one knows that I'm talking to myself, but Simmers that's what we do. We sit in rooms by ourselves and we play The Sims because a lot of us are a little bit awkward socially and don't public speak a lot. So it makes a lot of sense that you can kind of see the flusteredness in every single presentation in this challenge, especially because it's the first one. The next team is Team Llama, and this team had bubbles, a fishing rod, and a guitar, which I don't even know how you could create a story that's going to all encompass those 3 items. So once again, the fact that they could figure something out is impressive to me. So a couple things I really liked is that they added Mrs. Crumplebottom as this family's landlord, and part of the storyline was that the dad couldn't afford to take his daughter to a concert because he had to pay Mrs. Crumplebottom and didn't have enough money. And I thought that that was really cute because, you know, Crumplebottom is a staple in the Sims community. We love her. She is beautiful. She is terrifying, but we love her. One issue that I did have with this team is they didn't really use bubbles. Like their whole tie-in with the bubbles that they got was that the name of the band that the daughter wanted to see is the Bubble Boys, which like is cute, but it's not really using an item or like having it be a part of the story. It was just like kind of a throwaway, which was kind of disappointing. So the next one is Team Freezer Bunny, and they decided to go a completely different route with their build. They had 4 unique sets where they told the story. And I really, really liked the idea of this because it would give them more time. I do think that this kind of failed to create the cohesive world that the judges were looking for, because you wanted to be able to feel like you knew this family and you knew more about them, and not being able to actually see their home made it feel like they were just kind of actors. They definitely were extremely well decorated sets. Like they had probably the most detail, but that's also because they didn't have to decorate the outside of anything, so they had more time to focus on the inside. The storyline was really cute. It was about a girl who wanted to be a musician and didn't really want to be a student and didn't want to work that hard in school because she wanted to focus on her music, but her parents weren't totally into it. And I liked the story. I just do think that they didn't build a world, they just built sets. And finally, we have Team Gnome, and this team's whole storyline focused around voodoo dolls that, of course, the English Simmer picked up. I wasn't surprised that Molly went with something spooky because she always goes with something spooky. She's known for her Asylum Challenge, her Black Widow Challenge, all the spooky things. We're not surprised. The most impressive thing about this team was their build. The fact that Simproved built this like beautiful home that had, it was honestly so well decorated, and then in the upstairs of the home there was like this cobweb baby room, which makes a lot of sense because like the main character wasn't able to have children of her own, and she ended up adopting these 2 kids, and there was voodoo dolls involved, and it was just chaotic. Honestly, one of the more interesting stories, especially because it took a little darker turn, but I do feel like the story wasn't fully fleshed out and wasn't that interesting. My only issue with this challenge is that it felt like they were trying to create some drama.
Dr. Gluon's like, here's my idea, and that's it. And I'm like, you do realize it's 3 of us and not 1, right?
The whole like Ex Mira Mira and Dr. Gluon drama felt very contrived, and like they were trying to create it for no reason to make the story more interesting. But like these are Simmers, they're not reality TV people, they're not gonna fight with each other, they're not gonna yell at each other. Like it was just that Dr. Gluon was taking a more intense presence than the other 2, but that honestly makes sense to me just based on his personality. I would just see him wanting to kind of take control, but like they tried to make it seem like he was kind of evil. And I find that sometimes reality TV shows can really get you in the edit, and it kind of disappointed me that The Sims would even go down the extra drama route and kind of like hit that point home so much, because they did talk about it more than once in the episode. So it was kind of disappointing to see that. So all the teams line up to get judged, and we find out that the 2 top teams are Team Cowplant and Team Gnome. And then we find out that the bottom teams were Team Freezer Bunny and Team Llama. Now, Team Gnome wins. Congratulations, ladies. Very proud of you. And we find out that they are going to get an advantage in the second challenge. Now, I don't think that the advantage in the second challenge was much. It didn't really help anybody that much. It was just kind of blah. I wish it would have been like a little more exciting, but that's okay. This is all my opinion. However, I do think that just winning the first challenge kind of gave that team a bit of a confidence boost where they were able to kind of go into the next challenge knowing that they had the abilities to win this thing. You know what I mean? But then the teams like Team Freezer Bunny and Team Llama aren't going to be as kind of bonded together by that win or feel as excited and confident going into the second challenge. So in the second challenge, they only had 5 hours, which is 1, not enough time, and 2, they had to create like an entire video. Now, editing a video like this can take 5 hours on its own if you want it to be good. So the fact that they only had 5 hours to create the characters, create the world, record the visuals, and record the audio, and then get it edited is ridiculous. For this challenge, they were also given editors, which, like, I get it, giving them an editor, like, might make it easier, but most of these people, not most, like, all of these people make videos on YouTube and edit for a living and, like, make money by editing their own videos. So I feel like being able to get your own story across and being able to be the one that actually edits it is really important. So I feel like they could have maybe even done a better job if they edited it themselves. So that kind of bummed me out, like watching people have to like guide an editor when they could just do it themselves and do it twice as fast. But I understand, I get it, but I just think that they could have done a better job on their own. I don't know if that's like a hot take, but so in this challenge, they had to create a world, they had to create like a family of Sims, and they were also given a twist. And the twist is that they had to have a rival family that hailed from another neighborhood. So the first family had to come from Willow Creek, and then actually the gnome team who won the first challenge got to pick everybody's neighborhoods. And I know that Simproved, the English Simmer, and Plumbella aren't about to try and sabotage people by giving them like Forgotten Hollow and like throwing in vampires, or Strangerville, or like a destination world. They gave them towns like Brindleton Bay and Del Sol Valley, so they weren't being mean. So the first team we are going to talk about is Team Cowplant. Now this team decided to go in a Gossip Girl direction. And as someone who grew up as like a preteen teenager in the Gossip Girl era, I loved it. However, based on the actual limitations given by the judges, like what they were supposed to do, I don't think that it kind of like hit the mark. There was a lot of really funny Sims puns in their video. Like at one point they say that Travis Scott is taking a summer holiday into Summer Holiday's bedroom, and that's really funny because they're a base game family. Like they all live in the BFF household, so that's hilarious and I loved it. But the whole point of the challenge was to kind of be focused on the family and to have like a rival family. But we only really saw the family that they made at the very beginning, and it just didn't really make sense to me. I just really would have liked the story to be more focused on family dynamics instead of on Gossip Girl. I don't know. I loved the idea for the video. I thought it was really cute, but I don't think that it really fit what the challenge was about. The next team is Team Llama. They took a very interesting perspective on this because what they did is they made Magnolia Blossom Park into a big part of the story. So it had to take place in Willow Creek, and then they had a family from Windenburg who was trying to develop Magnolia Blossom, the area, before it was a park. And their family, one of the family members, was trying to turn it into a park so that she could teach all of her family members like how to garden and how to take care of things, and they ended up calling it Magnolia Blossom Park. And it was kind of a really pretty story, but I just don't think that it went very deep into like family bonds and like family roots. I think that it was kind of surface level, but it was really cute. Like I really like that they added Sims lore into it because that kind of gets it for me. Like same with Team Cowplant, how they had very specific like Sims jokes, like Summer Holiday and Summer, like that's hilarious. So I really like when they take the game and kind of bring that into the story. So the use of Magnolia Blossom Park was beautiful. But I definitely think that we needed more drama from the llamas. There's more than one of them, but I just wanted to say drama for your llama. So Team Gnome made a video where they had a woman who was married to a man who was just kind of too focused on work, was kind of the bad guy, and he lived in San Myshuno, and then they ended up moving to Willow Creek with her and her daughter, and they met Blossom and Mary, who are actually from the new Eco Lifestyle Pack. It is a like elderly lesbian couple, and they are some of the cutest Sims ever. They're actually Nox's parents, and I know everybody knows who Nox is, so you'd know who they are. And what you saw was just kind of like the growing of this family. They learned a lot, there was a lot of different skills, and the dad ends up coming back and actually not being the villain the entire time, which I like because family dynamics are weird. And I really feel like this was kind of the most fleshed out story and also the most beautiful video because they had a moment where like the flowers grew and it was just like really cute. There was also a lot of like little scenes, so the edits were kind of quick and there was a lot happening and it was fun to watch and I really liked that. But overall, I do think that their storyline was interesting and I think that they executed it very, very well. Now, the team that kind of disappointed me, like in my heart, is Team Freezer Bunny. I think that they had the most beautiful story potential, but the fact that they weren't actually able to finish their story, what happened was they didn't have enough time, and they just threw the rest of their clips on the end without any voiceover. So you see, like, you can hear all of Jen's voiceover throughout the video, and then all of a sudden it stops. There's a little bit of text for like one word that the father said, and the rest of it is just music. And it just hurt because I know that their story was really well fleshed out. It was thought out. It was beautiful. Their story was about the death, like the father dying and these twins having to deal with the fact that their father died. And they had a moment where like the mom was washing dishes and the ghost was in the background. And it was just really well thought out, but they just weren't able to execute fast enough. Like, it really sucks because I do think that their storyline would have been the most interesting and we didn't actually get to see it. There is also a moment while they're all getting ready for this challenge and like working on it where you can see that Spring Sims is just so overwhelmed and he just seems a little bit flustered. And you can see that D Sims and Urban Sims are kind of, you know, trying to like backseat Sim essentially while he's trying to build. So it's kind of, you know, it might be really difficult when you have like two people on either side of you kind of like yelling things and telling you what to do. So I kind of get why he was flustered and why it might have taken them a little bit longer to build, so they didn't have enough time to edit. But once again, I do believe that they could have done a better job if they were able to edit themselves, because they would know exactly like what the vision was instead of having to explain it to another person. So once again, we end up in the judging portion where we have the three judges and our host chilling on one side, everybody else on the other side, and we find out who wins. Now, the winner of this challenge actually gets the family that they created probably like added to the game. I'm not sure in what capacity, if it's going to be in like a new pack that comes out or if they're just going to add them to the gallery. I don't actually know the details of that. So it'll be interesting to see. But the winner actually ended up being Team Gnome, with Team Cowplant coming in second. So as I stated before, I really do think that the confidence boost from the first challenge helped Team Gnome to win the second challenge, because what advantage they got really didn't help that much. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, the dad could have been from any world. He didn't have to be from San Myshuno. So I just think that it really did help. We find out that Team Cowplant is in second, and that once again Llama and Freezer Bunny are in third and fourth. And honestly, the decision kind of bummed me out because they ended up eliminating Team Freezer Bunny. So that is Spring Sims, D Sims, and Urban Sims. And it kind of made me really sad because I do genuinely believe in my heart that they had the best story. If they would have been able to finish it, I think that they could have won, but they just didn't have the time management, which sucks. And I do think that their story is like worlds better than the story that Llama came up with. So it just kind of bums me out that they weren't able to finish it and weren't able to get that win or even just stay another week. So now I'm just going to go into some like overall thoughts on the show and some things that some of you guys have said on Twitter or in the comments, or I even posted on my community tab asking for a few little tidbits because I just wanted to know what other people are thinking about the show and not just what I think about the show. So some of my overarching thoughts are that the Mira Mira and Dr. Gluon drama was completely unnecessary. They made it seem like they don't like each other. And on Twitter, there was like some different exchanges where a lot of people were honestly just shitting on Dr. Gluon for anything that he did and kind of attacking him in the name of Mira. And I know that that was not cool. Like, this is supposed to be like a positive experience, but I feel like the editors of this show just kind of did that, which sucks because these are all people who really love The Sims and really love the community. And I just don't feel like he deserved that, because I feel like the edit kind of pushed it further than it should have been. It really was fun to see different types of people work together for The Sims, because The Sims is such a solitary game. I think that it's really easy to just kind of play the same Sims all the time and not really think other people's brains. So I know that some players like might not think to ever use something like a voodoo doll, but then, you know, someone grabs a voodoo doll in the first challenge and you have to think about a whole storyline wrapped around a voodoo doll or around fishing or any of these little details. And I think that having other people influence your storylines can really change the way that you play the game, which is really cool. So it's fun to see that it's in teams and not a singular game. I definitely think that Ninja is the Simon Cowell of this group. I think that he is going to be the harshest judge. I think that he is going to be the hardest on all of them, but also he is just such a nice dude. Like, you can just tell that deep down he's really nice, but he's just trying to, like, you know, keep the integrity of the show and make sure that everybody is working to the best of their ability. Also, I've been holding a Harry Potter pencil this whole time because I talk with my hands and it calms me down. And the final thing that I really love is that you can definitely tell that Simmers aren't the best public speakers. We spend all of our time in our rooms, we play video games. All these people play video games, you know, on YouTube or on Twitch or both, and talk to people on the internet and not in real life. So putting them in front of cameras and in front of a group of people who are judging them is definitely going to be nerve-wracking. I want to see some improvement from these people throughout. It could be really nice to see, like, Steph really struggled with the presentation this time, but if in, like, the next episode or an episode after that, if she's able to really improve that, it would be really cool just to see, like, a little bit of growth, which is, like, I just want to see these people do their best, and it just, like, makes me a little bit emotional. So some of, like, the overarching thoughts that I saw a lot on Twitter is kind of like, a lot of people are thinking that this was a waste of money, that the fact that they had to build this set and build all of that stuff, and they're giving away $100,000, all of that money should have been given to the game to make it better. I just kind of want to explain, like, the business side of that. So for one, these are two totally different teams. You have a development team and then you have a promotions team. So, like, the promotion advertising team is hoping that this will get different people interested in playing The Sims and can make lifetime customers out of them, number one. The second thing is that there are also sponsors. So you have a couple companies who are going to pay to have a little bit more ad space, and they're going to make money from having this show. Like, $100,000 to a regular person sounds like a lot, but when you think about advertising and all of that, it's really not that much. So giving away $100,000 is a lot of money to a singular person, but it's not a lot of money to a business, and that $100,000 would not go that far in developing the game. So I just want to, like, throw that out there, that it's not a waste of their money. They're probably, like, bringing money in, which may sound crazy. It honestly may sound crazy to some people, but as somebody who, like, has owned a couple of different websites and understands advertising, I definitely think that this is going to have a positive return on investment for EA, and then they'll actually have a little bit more money to throw into the game and to build the game and to make it more interesting. Another thing I saw a lot of people say is that the only reason they like it is because some of their favorite people are on it. And I know that with the Sims Sparked challenges that people can participate in, some of the people in the next season will actually be just regular players and not Sims YouTubers. So it might be harder to get into the show if it's not people that you like. So I know that a lot of people are tuning in. Like, for me, the second I saw that Plumbella was on it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch this. Like, of course I was gonna watch it, but she's, like, one of my favorite YouTubers. I think she's hilarious. So it's kind of like you go into it for your favorite people, you stay for the reality show. Which is an interesting thought, because you want people to be interested in your show, but a lot of people are just interested in the people on the show. So obviously they did a good job of casting the show, is what we've learned. And I know a lot of people are irritated with the Dr. Gluon X Mira Mira drama. Like, it was just so unnecessary. They didn't need to show it that much. They didn't need to make it seem like this big thing. Like, I don't know. I just feel like it was definitely added more than they should have to make it seem more dramatic, to make the show more interesting, which I understand, but I just don't think was necessary. But yeah, guys, those are a lot of my thoughts on The Sims Sparked. If you like this video, let me know if you think I should do it for the rest of the episodes. I definitely am going to continue watching this. I'm very much into it. I think it's a lot of fun. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. If you enjoyed it, if you thought that it could have improved in any ways. I really want to see what you guys think. I might even make an entire video with just other people's opinions on the first episode or on the series as a whole. I just think that having different opinions on this stuff is very important, so we can definitely steer the team in the right direction for the next season if they do make one. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.